Well, it snowed again last night. I am not sure when we are going to see spring here. I keep saying June before we see grass. I'm joking, but I'm getting ready for spring.
Hello friends, and welcome back. And for those of you that are new here, thank you so much for joining us today. I welcome you to my kitchen. Of course, it's St. Patrick's Day this week. And because I have a little bit of Irish in my blood, I cannot go without celebrating. I already have my corned beef and cabbage purchased. And I was going through one of my favorite cookbooks for St. Patrick's Day, and it's called the Complete Irish Pub Cookbook. And so I was going through just to see what else could I make to go with the corned beef and cabbage. You may hear a coffee pot in the background brewing some coffee, and there's a little bit of hint there. So as I was going through the book, if you don't have it, I do recommend it. It has beautiful pictures in it also of Ireland. But as I was going through the book, I came upon a recipe for a brown soda bread with molasses. Now, for those of you that have been with me for a while, you know that I do like to bake with einkorn flour. To be honest, that's all I have in my house. So I went on with that theme. And because I love a brown bread, I love a rye bread, and I wanted to do that in lieu of just your typical Irish soda bread. I found a recipe using einkorn flour, and that is what I am going to use today. So not only does it have molasses in it, but it has coffee in it. And that is why I am brewing the coffee, because it calls for 1 cup of coffee and it needs to be cooled. So that's why I'm making that in the background. Thus the beeping, it's done. So back to the book though, I did find, so I had 2. I have the Complete Irish Pub Cookbook. I also have Irish Pub Cooking. It has not all, but most of the same recipes in here. It's the same publisher, it's just a smaller version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in my store. If any of you are interested in it, it will be in the library section of my online store. It's, as you can tell, it's a thinner book, but again, beautiful, and I mean, basically it's like new. Speaking of cookbooks, I had to share this with you too. I was at Goodwill this week. I found the Highlanders Cookbook. It says recipes from Scotland. It is old and worn, and I cannot wait to look through this. I literally just bought it, and to be honest, I have never seen a Scottish cookbook, period. Not just in the thrift stores. I've just not seen them. So I'm interested in looking through and seeing what kind of recipes there are. I just wanted to share that with you. So let's get started here. I am going to put on my apron and we are going to get started with the bread recipe. And then while that is rising, it just rises for, I believe it's maybe half an hour. I have something else to share with you that I did actually with my friend Linda this week. So let's get started with the bread. Now, before we begin, I just want to mention that I am going to be making my bread in my cast iron Dutch oven, which I have prepped behind me here on the stove. You do not have to do that. You can bake this on a baking sheet if that's what you prefer. The Dutch oven just gives it a little bit more of a crunchy crust. So that's what I'm going to do. I thought it would be good with the corned beef and cabbage. So I'm going to bring you over here so you can see what I'm doing. I have all of my ingredients out, so let's get started. Okay, so while the bread is rising, it has to rise for about 45 minutes. I thought we would come into the library here, have a little cup of tea, and have a little bit of story time. So earlier this week, I think it was on Tuesday, I get a text from Linda. If you don't know who I'm speaking of, my friend Linda has a YouTube channel called New England Fine Living. She's been on YouTube for many years, and it's a very popular channel. So if you haven't, go on over and take a look. So Linda sent me a text Tuesday morning, what are you up to today? And to be quite honest, I had planned on being a good girl and working on my taxes. In particular, taking the inventory, taking inventory from my store. I had plenty to do. But she texted basically, do you want to go play today? And I immediately said yes. I can always come back and do the work another time, right? It will wait. And if you remember my video at the beginning of the year, I said I want to be more intentional this year and spending time with my loved ones. So that is exactly what I chose to do. Well, we had a fun day. We really didn't have anything in particular planned, but of course it included consignment and thrift shopping. Of course, that's one of our favorite things to do. And a lunch, but a special lunch, at least special for me. We went to a place in Mason, New Hampshire. It's called Pickity Place. Some of you may be familiar with it, others not. If not, I highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun. I have been there numerous times. However, I have never had lunch there. You do have to make reservations. It is such a special lunch. It is an experience. I'll be honest with you. Everything was so good. It was absolutely delicious. They use a lot of the fresh herbs that they actually grow there on the property. It's a very fun place to go. Now, I didn't realize at the time, but I had also just gotten my most recent Yankee magazine, and it's actually featured in there. It's called A Feast for the Senses. So if you get Yankee magazine, turn to page 14 and you can read all about it. So it was originally opened as a tea room, but it's also known for, I had to look up the name, the illustrator's name is Elizabeth Orton Jones. And this house was the inspiration for her illustration for the Little Golden Book's Little Red Riding Hood. And I am going to share some pictures with you that I took. Keep in mind, it's March, it's snowy and muddy, but it's still just adorable and adorable inside. Attached to it, they have a little shop and they sell a lot of their dried herbs and mixes there, along with many other things. But in the spring and the summer, the gardens are just beautiful. And that is what I have gone for before. They even have a little greenhouse in the spring where they do sell some of their plants. But it's just fun, and it's on top of a mountain. So let me share my day with you, with Linda, and then we will come back and we're going to pop the bread into the oven. Okay? Okay, friends, well, it's the next day and I am back with my bread review. I want to begin by saying, though, if you hear a saw or a nail gun, it is coming from our porch because Mark is outside working on the porch, and I will give you an update on that next week. It's coming along a little bit at a time. So back to the bread. The flavor of the bread reminded me a little bit of Boston baked bread, the bread that you get in the can. And I think that is simply because it has the molasses and the coffee flavor that comes through, along with a little bit of the chocolate. But I was very happy with the flavor. I was very happy with the texture. It is not a dense texture. And my disappointment was in the rise. Now, the yeast that I used expired in 2027, so that is perfectly fine. I think part of the problem, because I have made plenty of bread before in the past, I think part of the problem is my kitchen is cooler right now. As I showed you, we did get more snow last night. So it's still cool here in New Hampshire, and I did not have the wood stove going yesterday. That could have been part of it. I did warm my Dutch oven in my oven prior to putting the bread in it for its second rise. I thought that would help a little, but it didn't. And maybe I should have just shaped it a little better too. I don't know. I will try it again. It was very good. Mark has enjoyed it, and it's definitely not a throwaway recipe. I will link the recipe below the video if you decide to try it yourself. You know how bread is. It can be finicky with temperatures. Okay, so the other thing I would like to share is this little bowl scraper that I do sell in my online store, but this is mine here. This has a dual purpose. It is wonderful at scraping spilled wax off of a wooden countertop. Don't ask me how I know that. I speak from experience, friends. This little baby saved me this morning when, yes, I had a spill on my wood island countertop. I panicked a little. It all came off. It worked great. I began using this, and then I did take a towel in my iron, and it's smooth as silk right now, so I appreciate it. Where I'm going with this kind of goes with my little bit of a failure with the bread yesterday. My dad always used to tell me, it is not a mistake if you learn something from it. And that's very true. That's very true. So I want to share with you some of my fails on here, not just all the successes, because there's a lot that does go on behind the scenes. So anyway, that is it for today, friends. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Have a good week. Bye-bye.